Good morning, welcome to Morning Maths, day 37. You need your pencil and paper or pen and paper. Let's get started. Question 1, I'm in yellow. Question 1, how many tens is 800? How many tens is 800? Let's put the hats on. Units, tens, hundreds. If we were talking about units, it would be 800 units. But if we're talking about tens, it's 80 tens. The answer is 80 tens. And question 2. This is going to be plus, add, isn't it? 289 plus 335. 289 plus 335. Pause if you need time to copy. 9 plus 5 is 14. 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 1 is 12. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Plus makes things bigger. That's why 289 got bigger and became 264. That's question 2 done. And we move on to question 3. 726 take away, that means minus, doesn't it? 726 take away 86. Be careful with your lining up. Lines up down the right. The right is down here, isn't it? Lines up down the right. 726 take away 86. 6 take away 6 is 0. 2 take away 8, you can't do. Let's get some help from here. 7 goes down to a 6, we get 1. To make 12 take away 8, which is 4 and 6. 640. 726 got smaller because take away usually makes things smaller. And we're on question 4. As you've noticed, year 3s, we've been doing bigger and bigger multiplications in year 3. 43 times 5 now. So I'm going to do this in 2 different ways. First, I'm going to split it up into 40 times 5 and then 3 times 5. If you put the hats on that number, it would be units and tens. So first in purple, I'm going to do the 4 tens, 40 times 5. Because 4t is of course 40, isn't it? That's why it's called 4t. So 4t times 5. Now I'm going to do this by doing 4 times 5 and then placing a 0 at the end. Do you know 4 times 5? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So I write the 20, then I place this extra 0 on the end. 40 times 5 is 200. So I did the purple bit, now I'm going to do the green bit. 3 times 5, that's not too hard, is it? 3 times 5. If you sing your 5s 3 times, you'll get 3 times 5. 5, 10, 15 is 15. And I'm lining this up along in the right columns with the 200. Because I'll need to add up the 215. But 215 is just 215, isn't it? So the answer will be 215. Just add up my 2 answers at the end. So I did a purple part, which was 40 times 5. I did a green part, which was 3 times 5. Then I added them at the end, and the answer was 215. Now I'm going to do another method underneath. So I'm going to keep the first method and show you the other method, which I call the grid method, which we call the grid method. So in this, it's the same kind of thing. You're splitting up the 40 and 3 into a 40 and 3. Splitting up 43 into a 40 and 3. 40 and 3. Just like we split them up here, really, into a 40 and a 3. And we multiply them by 5. So 40 times 5 is 4 times 5, which is 20, and place a 0. And then 3 times 5. 5 times 3, 3 times 5 goes here. That's 15. You've got 2 answers, 215. You add them up at the end, of course it will be 215 again. So these 2 methods, the first one, I did this by partitioning the number. And really the grid method is the same thing. I'm using a grid to partition the number into 40 and 3, making it easier to do. And both ways you get 215. If you're not sure about this yet in year 3, just keep copying me every time I do it. and you'll get better and better. I'll do it every day, keep doing morning maths every day, keep copying it, and you'll get better at these longer multiplications. Question 5. Same goes for these divisions now that are a bit longer. Just keep doing them every day, you'll get the hang of it. 96 divided by 8. So, divided means shared, doesn't it? 96 divided by 8 is also the same as how many 8s in 96. I can sing how many 8s in 96. I could just sing the answer to this. So first of all, I'm just going to sing the answer to this. 96 divided by 8. By singing my 8s up to 96. It goes 8 and 16, 24 and 32, 40, 48 and 56, and 64 and 72, 80 and 88, 96. And then you're all done, mate. 96 is the last one. It's the 12th one. I counted 12 on my fingers because 96 divided by 8 is 12. The answer is 12. I'm going to show you a way of doing this on a number line. We already know the answer is 12, but I'm going to show you a method. It's important to see methods. So if you were to do this on a number line, what you're really doing, we start at the beginning on 0, and we're going to count up to 96. What are we going to count up in? We're going to count up in 8s, because as I keep saying, division is how many 8s in 96. 96 divided by 8 is the same as how many 8s fit into 96. So we can jump on to 8. And what I'm doing here is just writing our song, really. I just sang this without writing it, and now I'm writing it. You don't have to write it, of course, if you don't need to. But I want you to be able to see the method and see what we're doing. And as I just keep going on about, see that division is, in this case, how many 8s fit into 96. So I just keep going along with my 8s. 64. As you can see, I'm struggling to squeeze them all in. 72, 80, and I might just squeeze in an 88 here. Oh, will I? It's very messy. I do apologise for that, but that's supposed to say 88. So anyway, how many jumps was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to the messy 88, and 12. 12 jumps because I moved on 8 12 times, because you can fit 12 lots of 8 into 96. Okay? That is a number line method for division by counting up from 0 until you get to 96, counting up in this number, whatever it says to divide by, counting up to this number. Count up from the smaller number, usually, into the bigger number, and see how many fit in. See how many jumps there were. It's 12. Another way of doing this is what we've been... Really, it's a year 4 method. We do show you in year 3, but year 4s might often use the bus stop. 96 divided by 8. We call this the bus stop. Just another method of doing it. And it's a shortcut, really. How many 8s fit into 9? So I sing my 8s, but I mustn't go past 9. So I go 8 and 16. Oh dear, I've gone too far, because I mustn't go past 9. So I just go 8. On my fingers, that's 1, isn't it? I'm saying one lot of 8 is all I could sing. Otherwise, I would have gone past 9, so it's 1. But I sing up to 8, that actually says 9. So there was an extra one there which I didn't use, so we carry it on. How many 8s in 16? I'll sing my 8s up to 16. Look for an 8 and 16 is 2. Because as we know, the answer is 12. We got 12 when we sang it, we got 12 jumps when we count the jumps, and we got 12 when we used the bus stop. 3 different ways of doing division. It's good that you know lots of different ways for doing division. And most important that you know what division is. It's sharing things out, is seeing how many of a certain number fit into another number. Right. Question 6. Now we're going to year 4 level. Quite like writing in yellow, actually. Question 6. How many hundreds is 4,600? How many hundreds is 4,600? Units, tens, hundreds is what we need. Don't need thousands this time, but anyway. If it was units, it would be 4,600 units. If it was tens, it would be 460 tens. If it's hundreds, it's 46 hundreds. So the answer is 46 hundreds. Notice, I was noticing this knowledge come up in some fractions videos that I've been making, which is actually on here, frequently asked questions about maths. This knowledge actually will help you later when you're converting things like decimals to fractions and mixed numbers to decimals. 46 hundreds is the answer. And we're on question 7. I'll do question 7 here. I think I've got room today. Take this number from this number. Okay, biggest number at the top in takeaway. Very much, almost always, biggest number at the top. Make sure you copy the numbers correctly. Pause if you need more time to do that. And 4 take away 8 we can't do. We'll get some help. 2 goes down to a 1. You get this one. 14 take away 8, 6. 1 take away 6, can't do that either. Get some help from the 9 in the hundreds column. It's worth 900. Now we knock it down to 800 and we can borrow this 100. Put it in the tens column, so 11 tens. Take away 6 is 5. 8 take away 5 is 3. 4 take away 2 is 2. So we had 4,000 and something. We took away 2,000 and something. We ended up with 2,000 and something. That looks right to me. 2,356. Time for question 8. What's question 8? As you know, they're all mixed up now, so it's not, it used to be plus, minus, times, divide, all in order, didn't it? Not anymore. It's division now, because shared is division. 4,779 shared between 3. Now, if your 3s are watching, this is why really you need the bus stop in the end. When you start dealing with big numbers, this is a 4-digit number inside the bus stop. 1, 2, 3, 4 digits in it. It's a year 4 level question. You don't need to be able to work with 4-digit numbers in year 3. But I know many of you like to go on. So this is really how we have to do division when we're on bigger numbers. Well, there are other ways, but this is a good way of doing division when we're on bigger numbers, when we can't very easily do it on a number line, and we certainly can't see how many 3s are in this, because our 3 times table stops a long way before 4,779. But we can see how many 3s in 4s. So seeing your 3s don't go past 4. 3 is just 1. I sang to 3, but that says 4, so there was actually 1 left over that I didn't use. How many 3s in 17? I sing my 3s, but I mustn't go past 17. I'm counting on my fingers all the time when I do this. 3, 6, 9, 12 and 15. That's it. 5. 5 fingers I had. That's why I write 5, because my fingers told me 5. I sang up to 15 and I had 5 fingers, so I write the 5 from the fingers up the top. I sing up to 15, but that's 17. So 15 and then 16, 17. 2 we didn't use. 27 that says, a bit messily, 27. 3 fits into 27. I'm going to sing my 3s into 27. 3, 6, 9, 12 and 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. My fingers tell me 9. Nothing left because I sang exactly to 27. Now I'm going to sing how many 3s fit into 9. 3, 6, 9. It is 3. 1,593 is our answer. And we're on question 9, the product. Well, let's start a new page because I'll do 2 methods for you here. Because product, I'm hoping you're starting to know this difficult word. Product means times. So first of all, let's do the grid method first. This is a big old grid method, this. Because this number is going to need a lot of partitioning. 6,000. It's got 700 in it. After all this morning maths, I'm sure you are pretty good at splitting up and partitioning numbers. We've done a lot of place value work. Very good for your understanding of what's inside each number. 6,721 times by 4. Okay, I feel like doing the answers in green. 4 times 6 is 24. Place 3 zeros because there's 3 zeros here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. This is going to be a big answer. 3. 4 times 7. 4 times 700, but I'm going to do 4 times 7, which is 28. 2 zeros to place. 2,800. 4 times 20 next. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. Place this 0. 80. And at the end, 4 times 1. Careful with the easy stuff, but it is 4. All those green answers, I've got to add them up. They look a bit difficult, so I'm going to do them in column method. After all this work, make sure you line up your column method correctly. Otherwise, after all this work, you'll get it wrong. So be careful with your lining up. That's where I often see people go wrong on the grid method. They actually go wrong with the addition part, this purple part at the bottom, because they don't line things up right. Once you line it up right, the addition's normally very easy because there's always a lot of zeros in these. So it won't be a difficult addition. It's just as long as you line it up right. 26,884. 26,884. Okay. Well, as a check, I'm going to do standard method. I reckon I can squeeze it up the top. I'm going to have to make it small. So I'm not doing what I should do, which is use 1 digit per square, because I'm only squeezing it in. This I'm doing as a check, using the standard method, which I know lots of people like as well. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2 is 26. You need to know how to do one of these methods and be getting them right. I'm pretty sure we're right, because that is the same as that. You need to know how to do either the grid method, which is this big old method down here, or the standard method. If you really understand your multiplication, you'll be able to do both, which would be excellent. Time for question 10. Total. What does that mean? What sign is total? Did you say plus? Because it means plus. I'm going to put the biggest number at the top. You don't have to in plus. But be careful with your lining up, must line up down the right. Now you're good at these year 4s, I would have said, especially if you've done morning maths every day. The more you do things, the better you get. Even if you know all the methods, the more you do it, the faster you'll get, the more accurate you'll get. 3026, that's a 0, make sure it looks like a 0. 3026. Time for the year 5 work, question 11. 7 take away a mystery equals 6.999. So that's very nearly 7, 6 and a bit, but the bits are big. It's nearly a whole one. It's 6.999. I know the answer is 0.001. Maybe you know the answer is 0.001. To do this, we can actually do a takeaway this time. 7.000. It's really number bonds. I mean, it's decimal number bonds, but it's really number bonds that's doing this. So I'll just be checking here that it's 0.001. 0 take away 9 we can't do. Borrow from right over here. I'll go fast because this is year 5. You're good with your borrowing. And if you're not, just keep watching these videos, keep practicing. That's what I thought it would be, 0.001. If you didn't have a decimal here, it'd be 6,999, and that would be 7,000. So the difference is 1, but then with the decimal point, it's not 1, it's 0.001. Question 12. What does that mean in question 12? More than. More than. More than is plus. More is usually plus. But as I say every time, how many more, that would not be plus. How many more is a trick question and it's minus. But more than is plus. Plus these two amounts that could be money, but it doesn't say they are because there's no pound sign. But they do look a bit like they could be money. I think we get 12.21. 3 and a bit plus 8 and a bit is 12 and a bit. 3 plus 8 is only 11, but this carried one made it go up to 12. 12.21. And we're on question 13. Decrease. Decrease means going down, and the lining up's going to be a bit tricky here. Decrease is take away. So it's going to be a takeaway. 5,000 is definitely the biggest number. I'm going to put it right over here because I'm a bit unsure about how this is going to line up, because it's 5,000 and then it's a tiny little number, really, just 1 and a bit. 5,000 against 1 and a bit. 1 would go here. 1 and a bit. Because 5,000 is the same as 5,000 point nothing, isn't it? So that one is a tricky lining up question. I wonder if you got tricked by that, if you did it on your own. Loads of borrowing here, which I'll do very fast because you're year 5. Although some of you, of course, I know are year 4s. And even some of you are year 3s still going. If you are a year 3, this is hard stuff for you. Maybe not, but it's supposed to be hard for year 3s anyway. See what we get. And we'll see if it makes sense at the end. We haven't took much away. So 5,000, we've taken off 1 and a bit. Yep, 4,998.55. You might know from number bonds that 55 goes with 45 to make 100. So that's making sense because we started with double zeros. 4,998.55. We're on question 14. 25 groups of 25. 25 groups of 25. I'll use standard method for this. I feel like I could be able to predict the answer. I know 25 times 10 would be 250. So times 20 would be 500. Plus 125, 625. I'm not sure if that's right. Let's do the method and see what happens. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. I think I was not placing a 0 and I was trying to do it in my head. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Oh, I was right. Okay, fair enough. Cross out the little ones. 5, 2, yeah, it is 625. 25 times 10 is 250, times 20 is 500, times 25 is a bit more, 625. Okay. Question 15. More 25s. How many 25s in 46,875? Right. That is division. How many smaller numbers in a bigger number is division. How many somethings in a something is division. So 25 out here. I'm quickly going to do my 25 times table. Now normally I'll do 25 plus 25 plus 25, but my 25s is not that hard and I actually know it quite well, and you should know this. By the end of year 4 you should know your 25 times table, so if you don't, do a bit of practice on that. 5 I normally do and then see if it works, but 25 times table is so easy that I'm going to go all the way up to 9, which is the most you ever need. That's the 25 times table, and that way I can use the bus stop to solve this. How many 25s in 4? Of course 0, because it's only 4. That's big old 25. Carry the 4. How many 25s in 46? 1. But we've only got 46, not 50, so it's just 1. We have a big remainder, because that says 46, we only counted up to 25. So when you get these big remainders, you might want to do a takeaway. I think this will be 21, won't it? Yep, 21. Big old remainder, 21. It's going to go a long way. How many 25s in 218? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 can fit into 218. This one can't fit into 218. So it's 8. We counted up to 200. That says 218. So we didn't use 18. I don't need to do a takeaway from that one because we were looking for 218. We got 200 of them. You know from place value that 18's left. How many 25s in 187? Okay, I'll tick in red this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can't get any more, so it's 7. We counted up to 175, but we were looking for 187. So we get our 187. We take off the 175 that we counted to find our remainder, which is 12. And then we really hope that when we put it on the front, we get something from the list. 125, yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one is 125. I love it when this works at the end without a remainder, because in the year 6 SATs arithmetic test, if there's no remainder, you very likely have got it right. Very likely you've got it right. If you get a remainder, something's probably gone wrong. That was question 15. Now we get on to question 16. I'll go nice and fast for year 6. I've seen these year 6 children doing these questions in the class. They are very quick now. So 4 divided by 1,000. I'll use moving method when I'm dividing by 1,000. 4 doesn't have a decimal point, so I'll put one on the end. I'll line one up underneath. And then because there's 3 zeros, I'll move this 3 places smaller. That's the same place. The units column, that's the same column. I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3. The 4 goes right over there. Fill in any gaps with zeros. We get 0.004, otherwise known as 0.004. It's a very tiny number now because we only had 4 in the first place. We shared it between 1,000. If you had 4 sweets and you shared them between 1,000 people, they're not going to get much of a sweet each, are they? 0.004, a very small number. We're on number 17. This is a third. Do you remember how to find a third of a complicated number like 22.56? You divide it by 3. 22.56 divided by 3. Great skill to know how to find a third of something that's quite difficult. I'm doing this very fast because your year 6 is 7.52. Maybe some of you race me. I might start putting my speed up a little bit now for year 6s. Racing's all good, as long as you're getting it right. You don't want to rush so much that you get things wrong. Long multiplication. We need a 0 on the second line. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. That was easy. The next line, so we've done that. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. Well, this has not been the hardest question ever, has it? Add up at the end. 1,764. 40 times 10 is 420. Yeah, looks about right. 1,764. And we're on question 19. The sum. Hopefully you know, I'm sure you know that sum means plus. 4.58 and 32.1. Be careful of the lining up. It's slightly weird lining up on this one, so watch out for that. Other than that, it's a very easy question. It's just the lining up that was difficult. They have a lot of these in the arithmetic test for year 6. 36.68. And number 20, difference between. Now, if you don't know, difference between means minus 1 and 0.1. 1, otherwise known as 1 point nothing, and 0.1. So if you see difference, it's a minus. Biggest number on the top and a minus. 1 is bigger than 0.1, isn't it? So there we go. 10, that's going to be 9. 0.9. You may know that from number bonds, because 1 and 9 makes 10. 0.1 and 0.9 makes 1.0. So 0.9 and we're done. Let's have a look at our answers. Pause this so you can check your answers. And thanks for listening. I'll see you again on the next one.